Welcome back to the Festiva garage, guys. Today we're going to take a look at Blackwater. Blackwater is my dedicated autocross car. Powertrain came from the car Overkill. Overkill will be getting a new motor and will be street driven slash autocross driven, primarily street driven. This car, however, is solely autocross at the moment. Hopefully someday we can get her on the track, but it needs a few safety upgrades before we're ready for that. For now, it's just autocross. This car is a Mazda BP 1.8 liter. It's actually a BP 26. It's got a Honda 2-core radiator, cheap eBay intercooler. The intercooler piping was robbed from Overkill. It will be rebuilt here very soon. We're running a Garrett GTX 2867R Gen 2 turbo, low lawnmower battery. We've got the camber caster plates on, a little cheap oil catch can, fuel pressure regulator, Carlos's coil-on pack kit. We've got some cheap, I think they're 670cc high impedance injectors. They're old. They really should be replaced. We're running the Mazda G series trans with a M-Factory diff. Custom core support. This core support ties in both upper and lower frame rails on the car with one continuous plate, and everything's all welded together. That plate is then connected from plate to plate with this large heavy-duty bar in the front. On top of that, both strut towers have plates welded to the ends, and then bars coming off those, and that's that same heavy gauge bar. So the theory there is that I'm tying the strut towers together through all this, as well as tying the frame in, and tying the frame in to the strut tower. So the theory was I would get rid of the course or the crash bar because I now have all this additional strength up here. It being autocross only, I don't need a crash bar on the car. We will be making a front bumper. The general idea is I'm going to take another bar similar to this bar here. We're gonna take it from just the vertical here. We're gonna lay it down horizontal, and that'll be on the car that way. And then we'll take another bar similar to that and put it lower and down in front. That way it kind of makes a ghetto bumper. We will skin it with some type of fiberglass or something similar, and then we'll have a large front splitter, as large as my class rules will allow me to make it. We are running front Aspire brakes. We've got autocross, we've got AutoZone GT brake pads. They seem to be doing a lot better than the stock organics. First lap takes a while to heat up. Second lap, they normally grab pretty good, and they're spot on, so I like them. We're running some Hoosier 205 60-13 slicks on 7-inch wide rims. I might step up to 8-inch wide rims this winter, I don't know yet. Some custom little tube doors I made. I just used the stock Festiva latch from the door and made a little housing, put a couple bars to it, nothing fancy. We've got a big tack right in the middle of the steering wheel. Not that I ever have time to see it when I'm on autocross anyway, but we got it there. We've got a little gauge cluster in the middle. I've got oil pressure, temperature, boost pressure, and wideband with a push button, and a couple of switches to control the ECU, the fuel pump, and the fans. Corbo seats. We'll be putting the passenger seat in here in a little bit. We've got a harness bar made up, connects into the factory Festiva seatbelt mounts. Underneath this metal plate here, we have our fuel cell. It's a small, cheap eBay 2.5 gallon fuel cell. Running rear advanced dynamic suspension with Ryan Prin's coil plates, whatever they are called. Great product, by the way. Running the Ford Festiva rear beam with re-drilled drums to 4x100, and we're running 1-inch wheel spacers all the way around the car. In the front and rear, we're also running an additional 1/4-inch wheel spacer underneath the 1-inch wheel spacer, so we've got 1.25 inches total. Everything else on the car is removed and gutted, and anything I could cut out, I cut out. We trimmed out all of the rear. We added a harness bar, so we didn't need all the extra weight right behind where the rear seat mounts to. We've got this wing from a BMW that one of my friends just gave to me, so thank you for that. I'm not sure how much this wing is really doing for me in autocross. I kind of just put it on there just for looks, and if it's helping, it's helping. If not, oh well. Aside from that, it's pretty much just a cheap build. The only thing I didn't cheap out on was the turbo itself, and that's just because I wanted the best turbo I could put on there. Everything else is relatively cheap, mostly gotten off eBay or at AutoZone, so nothing super high quality. The car does wonderful at autocross. I'm still learning how to drive it. I still don't drive worth a damn. I've gotten lucky and beat a couple of cars in raw time. However, I still have a very long way to go driving wise. The car still needs work. I'm currently doing tie rod ends now, trying to adjust toe, trying to get the car ready for Festiva this weekend. So if you guys want to check the car out, we will be there. We'll be at the Cars and Coffee Saturday morning, and we'll be there for autocross on Sunday. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'll answer anything. I'm not trying to hide anything on the car. It's pretty basic. The master cylinder and brake booster were from a Miata. There she is, guys. The fenders have been trimmed in the front probably 2.5, 3 inches, and the fenders in the rear have been trimmed probably 1.5 inches. As you can see, I did have to re-weld that seam. There's a pinch weld. I cut that pinch weld plus quite a bit extra out. I re-welded that seam, and then I just took some pliers and grabbed it and bent it up just to make clearance for my tires. We will be adding some fender flares just to spice up the look a little bit. We've got a detachable steering wheel just to make it easier getting in and out of the car. It's a Walbro 255 fuel pump. Mounted it up underneath here. Mounted it right up there on the well of the car, so that way if I hit a cone, it's up out of the way, and I ran the fuel line up to the top of the body and then ran it all the way under. There's our little blue 2.5 gallon fuel cell. I can get a full autocross event out of the fuel cell. However, I typically top it up during lunchtime. Here we can see the advanced dynamic suspension in the rear. I don't have a lot of room between my tire and my coilover. However, I do have some room. I've got enough that the tire doesn't rub, so we're good there. In the front, I think I have quite a bit more room. You know how you can tell a grinder from a welder? When they have two different grinders ready to go at all times. So the front suspension, we have gobs of room between the tire and the coilover. And these are the new coilovers, so if you guys are interested in checking those out, This is my solution to the camber caster plates raising your front suspension too high. So far they seem good. We'll still have more testing this weekend, then we'll be able to say for sure whether or not I like them. This car also has a third transmission mount, a fourth motor mount. So this was a custom piece, and as you can see, I had originally built it coming straight off here. However, after having the motor mounted, I ended up having to move the motor forward by this amount right here. So I just lopped that off, moved the motor forward, and then just re-welded it. So it looks a little goofy, but it works. I'm not sure how much it actually helps, but it's on there. And you can see my busted up boot there. So this is Blackwater, guys, purely autocross. This is the reason why we made the channel. I just plan on doing a lot of autocross videos, a lot of race videos. However, I'm also going to do Festiva builds, modifications, just to have fun, just to enjoy, just to document. If you guys get anything from it, that's awesome. I'm not out here trying to teach everybody exactly everything that can be done to this car, because I'm still learning myself. However, if you find any enjoyment out of it, then that is wonderful. Well, we are going to end the video there. This is Blackwater, guys. Hope you like it.